And good evening and welcome in to the Hive. I'm Jason Groth with Lance Rock as we get ready to go. Section 8 2A boys basketball action tonight as the Perham Yellowjackets get ready to take on the Thief River Falls Prowlers live here from the Hive. We thank you for tuning in, Lance, and it should be a good and fun, exciting contest here tonight between these two squads.
Well, one of the things that makes this one unique, Jason, is these two teams just played. And it was right here, and it seems like we were just sitting right here. And again, if we look back to that game, it was a kind of a tale of two halves, and it just leaves a whole ton of question marks with that and just where this lies out. And we'll go through the brackets, but this is the 8-9 game, and I think it tends to lead up to being a toss-up game a little bit. Yellowjackets had a nice victory against the Prowlers earlier, but again, tale of two halves, and I think it just depends on which team comes out for both of these squads tonight. And I don't know, Jason. I think it's one of those flip of a coin, and we'll get into more in-depth detail as we go along tonight.
We'll take a quick look at those brackets. As you said, up on our screen, the number 1 seed is Pelican Rapids. They will play the winner of this one on Saturday night. And then the number 4 seeds, Barnesville, they'll take on Monaga tonight. East Grand Forks, the 5, takes on Crookston. And the other half of the bracket, Park Rapids, the number 2 seed, earned a bye. Holly will take on Roseau. Wadena Deer Creek, the 3 seed, earns a bye as well. And they'll await the winner of DGF and War Road on Saturday as those games taking place tonight. Should be a fun one here tonight from the Hive. It's the Yellowjackets and the Prowlers. Thank you for tuning in. We'd also like to give a special announcement to tomorrow night's Section 8 2A Girls Basketball Championship between the Perham Yellowjackets and the Pelican Rapids Vikings will be streamed live on the Perham Activities YouTube page. Again, you can find us tomorrow night for that one live from Concordia as the Yellowjackets look to make it 2 straight section championships and trips down to Minneapolis as they take on the Vikings. You can hear that tomorrow night and watch that tomorrow night right here on the Perham Activities page. You can find that link through perhamschools.org by clicking on the activity stream, and that link will show up there as well as your radio options if you're unable to take in the game in person or via stream. You can also find a way to listen to our local media such as Lakes 99.5 and the Superstation out of Wadena. So it should be a fun one tomorrow, and tonight we have a good one on our hands between the Yellowjackets and the Prowlers. And prior to tonight's game, we had a chance to talk with Yellowjacket head coach Kyle Haberman. And here's what he had to say on tonight's contest with the Prowlers. Here with Perham boys basketball head coach Kyle Haberman getting ready for the Section 8 2A playoffs tonight with Thief River Falls. First overall thoughts on getting to the playoffs and being here for the postseason now?
Well, we're excited. You know, the guys are excited to have a home playoff game, and you know, for us, it's been, you know, just kind of a slow build towards the end of the season. You know, anytime you put in a new system and a bunch of guys that have played zero varsity experience besides a couple of minutes here and there, it's really, you know, been kind of a roller coaster, but a good roller coaster. And so we feel like we played our best basketball the last month, and we really feel like we're in a good place. But now you get to playoffs, and it's, you know, a lot of things can happen. You see that with the girls' side. It's just a matter of us doing the things that we do best and cleaning up mistakes. And then I think the biggest thing for us as we get going is to battle adversity. You know, one of our things, we've just had 2-3 minute stretches in a lot of games that have hurt us. If we can limit those the best we can, I really do like our chances. If not, we're going to be in a lot of dogfights.
Tonight you face a team you're familiar with coming off a game just under a week ago. What are some things you can take away from your last meeting with Thief River Falls?
Well, Rosendahl played really well. You know, for him to, you know, then they played World a couple nights later to solidify their spot to come back to us. And a lot of guys that didn't necessarily play well against us played really well against Warroad. So we had to make sure that film-wise, our guys understood that, hey, you know, just because maybe the 5 didn't hit a bunch of shots against us, he was a you know, absolute stud against Warroad to get back to play us. So, you know, for us, they're a very talented team, very similar to us. They didn't have anybody coming back. Really good team that they had last year, and then with a couple of guys that came off of injury and were hurt in the middle of the year, they're kind of playing their best basketball now as well.
Facing Thief, what will be some keys for you guys offensively tonight?
Well, offensively, I think we're going to be able to get good looks. You know, for us, it's if we're not knocking down shots, you know, we're a 3-point shooting team. It's what we do. We shoot way more threes than anybody else. So we accept that. We got to rebound off of that. And if we're not knocking down shots, we can't get down on ourselves. We can't let long misses turn into runouts for them. We need to make sure that, hey, if we knock down a couple shots, that means they're going to close out hard. I'm guessing their scout is going to be, let's run these guys off the three-point line. Well, then let's counter that with getting to the rim. And so we've been doing a lot of attack drills towards the rim and hoping that at some point we can get to the free throw line, which we haven't done much all year.
And now on the other side of the floor, defensively, what are some things you need to focus on and try to key in on tonight?
Well, we got to keep Rosendahl uncomfortable. He's hard to keep uncomfortable. And so we know that they got other dudes. They got a number of other guys that can knock down shots and get to the rim. But for us, I think from start to finish, we want to make him sure he knows that he's going to get a few different looks. And we're going to be really aggressive with him because he's a great player. And if he's averaging 25, 26 a game, we're going to try to limit him and make other guys beat us.
Section playoffs, it's always unique. It's that one and done, and you got it potentially at one and done and moving on where the season's on the line. Just talk about the kind of the added pressures to get ready for the postseason.
Well, the finality of this year is crazy. It's very odd. We're at practice 52 right now. And so now you have this game in which you're a higher seed, but they're a really good team. You're playing at home. You kind of have to think about the game on Saturday, being you'd only have one practice. So you're kind of prepping a little bit ahead, although you don't want to think ahead. And it's tough because you never, ever for 1 second want to think it might be over, but at the same time, there's the finality of it to understand that they're high school kids and so to make them understand that, right? I mean, if you're going to have a home playoff game and you get a chance to keep playing, well, then play as absolutely hard as you can because the last thing you possibly want to do is get home tonight or get home tomorrow and think, God, if I just would have made that play or dove on the floor there or boxed out there or made a better mental play there or been more locked in, that we'd still be playing. And so that's the tricky part, but that's the beauty of March. It makes it really fun. At the same time, it makes it really stressful.
You look at the section, wide open seems to be the term that everyone's using with this section. The parity this year, thoughts overall as you look at the section overall and where you guys kind of are in that mix right now?
Well, I think we're certainly just as good as anybody. I think guys have some really high-level players that this time of year they tend to take over. A guy like Guler from Pelican or Gannon from Barnesville, or there's a number of others. So it's just, sometimes, you get into those second halves where it's just both teams are defending as hard as they possibly can. Kids know if they lose, they're going home. And so it comes down to those playmakers. And so we feel like we've kind of developed some of those guys over the year. We certainly didn't feel like we had that in December or even early January. We feel like we got a couple dudes that can now do that. And so for us, we understand it is the craziness of this year in which we could easily be done here in a few hours or we could be playing in a couple weeks. And we know that. And so it's up to our guys to play their best. And at this point, it's really about, I think, defense, rebounding, and knocking down shots.
And one last question for you. This senior group, opportunity to play their final game here at home for the Yellowjackets. I know the goal is also obviously to move on, but their impact that they've had in this year and throughout the program for them.
Well, they're a great group. I think they were maybe not reluctant, but they were a little hesitant to let me into their world as they've been together for their entire lives. It's a very close-knit group, very loyal group to each other. And so I think it took us a little while before they let me in. But once they let us in, this last month has been really fun. It doesn't mean it's been perfect, but man, they compete as hard as they can. I mean, practice every single day has been really, really fun. I don't ever have to worry about the tempo or level of play in practice, and that's all a coach really asks for. But they're a fun group that does a lot of different things besides just basketball. So it's been fun to get to know them as kids as well. And knowing we're getting closer to their graduation is also kind of that surreal moment too for them and for us as a coaching staff. But a really fun group to coach, and for a first year, kind of lay the foundation. It was a good group to have.
All right, Coach, anything else that I'll be part of tonight's game?
No, thank you guys for the coverage, and thanks for supporting the Yellowjackets.
And that was Yellow Jacket head coach Kyle Haberman. We thank him for taking time out today before tonight's game against the Prowlers of Thief River Falls. And these two teams, you kind of look at it, the 8-9 matchup, Lance, they're even as even can get. Both teams in their last 10 are 5-5. Yellow Jackets will have won 4 of their last 5. Thief River Falls sitting at 3-2 in their last 5, but they're coming off that win over War Road, which allowed them the opportunity to get back against the Yellow Jackets. And For the Prowlers, they fell behind early against the Yellowjackets, worked all the way back, got back within a point, and maybe trying to remember off the top of my head, might have took the lead, but the Yellowjackets finished strong and ended up with what was a 15-point victory. But we've seen it this year, Lance. Kyle talked about it a little bit in our pregame interview. This Yellowjacket team has a tendency to go on 3 to 5 minute stretches where they are unable to score and get stops. And to avoid that is going to be imperative for them to have success tonight.
Yeah, you said a lot there, Jason, and as we unpack all of what you just said, you're absolutely correct. And I go back and I rewatch that game, and you look at Thief River Falls, and I'm not sure. As I looked at it, I'm trying to say this the right way. It almost to me looked like they ran out of gas at the end. Like they had to work so hard. They were down by 20 in the first half, 15 at halftime, back up to 20 again in the second half, then led by 1, and it just looked like in the last 4 or 5 minutes they expended so much energy to get back into that game. They just ran out. Their legs kind of gave out on them, and they started front rimming a lot of shots. And again, so goal 1 probably for Thief River tonight. Don't create such a big deficit right off the bat. Now, when I look at the Yellowjackets and what you had just said, Jason, here's my take, and I could be 100% wrong, and a lot of times I am, but I'm going to say it anyways. Those runs where they don't score, it's because the shot stopped falling. They've been driven this year by the three-point shot and the ability to make the three-point shot. And the old saying is you live by the three-point, you die by the three-point, and sometimes that happens to the Yellowjackets. They get out and they hit 5 or 6 of them in a row, and they're up by 18. Well, then all of a sudden the faucet shuts off, and now all of a sudden you aren't making them, and that 18-point lead goes away really, really fast in this day and age as kids are just so used to getting up and down the floor. So again, for the Yellowjackets, I think stay consistent tonight. You can't have those really mountaintop highs, and you can't have the really valley lows tonight. You got to play kind of in the middle of the road, and hopefully you can keep that lead. I think this is going to be a barn burner. I'm looking at you can't go much further than Maddox Swintek's been really hot, and I think he's been a key for the Yellowjackets, kind of giving them that second outside shooter to go along with Happel. But if you're looking for Thief River Falls, listen for the name Caleb Rosendahl. The guy's the real deal, at least from the few games I have seen. He's kind of an old school type player. He likes that mid-range jumper. He likes to put his foot in the ground and shoot a little fadeaway from 15. But he can also shoot the 3, and the other name to look out for is Bridger Wilcox, a nice-looking sophomore at 6'1". So this game sets up, just as an 8-9 should, to go right down to the wire.
The Yellowjackets come in scoring 63.5 points a game, allowing 63. Thief River Falls scoring 63.1, but they allow 68.7. Both teams have about the same style of success in Section 8-2A. Thief River Falls holding that 5-9 mark. Perham 2-8 against Section 8-2A opponents, but the Yellowjackets 500 at home. Thief River Falls has struggled on the road at 4-10. Yellowjackets with a record of 9-16. Thief River Falls with a record of 10-16. And now lead into our starting lineups tonight. First for the Prowlers, and a uniform change. Wearing number 12 tonight will be Bridger Wilcox. He's a 6'1 sophomore. Listed as a guard forward, can play inside and outside. Also, 6'1 senior is Caleb Rosendahl. He's wearing number 10. Gannon Zutz, a junior, wearing number 15. Max Peterson, a senior guard, number 20. And Tucker Chose, a senior at 6'1", wearing number 32 for the Prowlers. Head coach John Hams, assisted by Riley Hendrickson and Will Anderson. The Yellowjackets will start like this. At a forward, a senior Blaze Schmidt. At a guard, a senior Mason Happel. At a guard, a senior Gage Johnson. At a forward spot, number 23, Maddox Swintek. And at a forward, a junior number 25, Ashton Detloff. Head coach Kyle Haverman, assisted by Grant Thurkeising, Brian Robertson, Aaron Solberg, as well as Judd Soul.
Whew. And that's about the way it feels like in the gym right now. The band's playing, both teams warming up. Again, you can kind of feel the nervous energy in the gym as family and parents and the student sections are arriving. And again, it's what March Madness is all about. And I listened to Coach Haberman, and he stated it really, really well, that this is what you practice 52 times for, as the opportunity to move on in the playoffs. And again, you want to be able to face the number one seed, who they've played really well throughout this year. So again, you want that opportunity for that third time as they're warming up here, and we're getting close to starting lineups, anthem time. And I remember my days of playing, Jason. This is what you live for, and you can feel your heart pounding, and you're just you watch your friends in the crowd and your parents up there, and you're thinking, let's get this game going, and why is it the 20 minutes taking so long? So again, I think the Yellowjackets, again, I liked what Coach Haberman had to say. I liked that he was really adamant about if they're going to guard our three-point shot, we got to find another way to win. And that just tells me they've worked on some things to prepare to be the counterbalance of what they think Thief might be coming at them with. And you know, if you're Thief River, you're just thinking, man, we can't get down by 18, 19 points to start this game because we had to work so hard to get back. So it's going to be really a good thing. I kind of want to know who's guarding Rosendahl. You know me, I'm a matchup person. So look to see. It might be one of those that they have to switch off throughout the game. So game time dangerously close here, and we're just excited to bring it to you.
It is going to be a good one here tonight between the Yellowjackets and the Prowlers. The winner to move on to face Pelican Rapids at the new Rex Hogan Courts in Pelican Rapids for the Section 8 2A quarterfinals. And you know the Vikings are going to have some people in attendance tonight to take a look, or they might be at home watching as well. And we hope they're enjoying the broadcast as everyone else is, as the Yellowjackets get ready to take on the Prowlers here tonight. And again, just a reminder, tomorrow's girls basketball championship game for Section 8 2A can be found on the Perham Yellowjacket activity stream, so make sure to tune in. And we'd like to thank KLN Friendly Brands United Community Bank for making that possible tomorrow night. We're moments away from the start of tonight's game. We'll take one quick timeout and come back with the pregame show and have everything set up. Well, welcome back into the Hive here on the campus of Perham High School as we're getting ready to go for the Yellowjackets and the Prowlers. Noah Glad, Rob Nudell, and Daryl Olson are officiating crew tonight, a veteran crew on hand As it's play-out time, the lights shine bright on not only the officials but the players. And the officials, we got to give a tip of a cap for all the time they give up during this time of the year, as it's March Madness for them as well.
Right, a lot of people come into play when you talk about this, and the band and athletic director, and then all of the people in the office, and just a really, it's just amazing to watch everything come together here, Jason. And this is going to be a great game, and I think if you're the Yellow Jackets, you're looking to match that really hot start. And again, sometimes that's tough to do with the pregame jitters. You think you would not have them being at your home court, playing at the same place, but there's a different feel when it hits tournament time. And you use the word, I think, Jason, in your interview with the finality of it. I think that tends to play a little bit more than anything else when you start, the nerves start coming in is, would this, maybe this is the last time we're playing here. And it will be either way, but you certainly want to end it in a win.
Starting lineups again for the Prowlers. Wearing number 12 tonight is Bridger Wilcox. It's a jersey change from his normal number 5. Landon Weinkirch is now wearing number 45 tonight for those keeping tabs at home. So it's Bridger Wilcox, Caleb Rosendahl, Gannon Zutz, Max Peterson, and Tucker Chose for the Prowlers. And the Yellow Jackets will go with Blaze Schmidt, Mason Happel, Gage Onitson, Maddox Swentek, and Ashton Detloff. And Lance, one thing I thought Kyle's talked about in the pregame show, which we've seen throughout the year, the Yellow Jackets love the three. As a shooter as you were back in your day, at what point do you think you kind of realize that, hey, it might not be there for you tonight? What things do you do to try to get additional? When do you realize that might not be there?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think you're going to find out early and often when if the Prowlers break their contain of slow playing out to you, if they come running out to you with a hand up, you better be ready to pump fake and drive, maybe set up the three and a diagonal corner pass. So lots of question marks in the air right here. Ball going to go up in the air. 36 minutes to decide this one.
Zutz and Detloff, the opening tap. It's won by the Yellow Jackets. Here's Onitson with the basketball near side. After he gets a pair of screens there from Detloff and Schmidt. Now Detloff, the head fake, Swintek looking inside. Not there, now comes back out. Almost stolen, as Schmidt gets it. Now kicks right side. Onitson with the fake, comes to the wing. Now up top, Swintek swings it around, free throw line extended, and he traveled in the turnover.
So, question answered on Series 1. They're going to run out at the three-point shooters. So now if you're the Yellow Jackets, how can you change up your game? Back cuts. Do a little fake, look for the ball, back cut to the rim. Hopefully you can get a pass. If you can't get the shot up, kick it outside. Now you may be open.
Peterson picks up his dribble, and then he travels. Blaze Schmidt put the pressure on right away there on Peterson, and now we're all square in the turnover battle.
Pre-game jitters, or early game jitters, I should say. Both teams with an early turnover.
And now we got an offensive foul on the Yellow Jackets. That's on Blaze Schmidt. That's his first.
Again, don't despair. If you followed with us last night, kind of the same thing happened in the Barnesville-Perham girls game, as it was a little rough start. Both teams will get into the flow here. Offensive sets are going to be a key at the beginning here.
Here's Peterson with it. Into the lane, stops, spins, now looks for some help, finds it in the form of Zutz. Zutz, bounce pass out, corralled eventually there by Chose, now to the floor. They battle, and it's a turnover, and Onitson has it. Onitson now finds Happel. Happel will drive, kick to Detloff, off the glass, good for two, and the Yellow Jackets with the first points of the game by Ashton Detloff.
Perfect job by Happel there.
Quick answer attempt, no on the shot attempt by Rosendahl, and the Yellow Jackets with the board. Happel thought about it, now goes to Schmidt. Swing over to the right side from the free throw line extended. Swintek no good. Detloff with his height just gets the board and attacks the glass. So the Yellow Jackets inside so far for the first four. And Rosendahl feeds it over here to Wilcox. Back to him. Now far side, Rosendahl. It's going to go against Onitson into the lane. Pull-up jumper is good and smooth.
That's that old school basketball I talked about, Jason. not settling for the three. He's really good about getting a good first step, sticking his foot into the ground, pulling up and elevating over the top to get that jumper. It's going to be a tough one to stop if you're the Yellow Jackets.
Apple. And a foul. It's going to be on Zutz. On the arm.
Physical play right away, just what you expect at playoff times. They're battling, they're fighting every screen. One screen foul went to the Yellow Jackets. The other one now went to the Prowlers. And again, you got to like the intensity to start this game.
Apple to Detloff. A three on its way. It's good. Ashton Detloff has 7 points. And a timeout called by the Prowlers. Yellow Jackets lead 7-2 on a 30-second timeout now by the Prowlers. Ashton Detloff with all 7.
Right, and he's done it both inside and outside, which is really good for the Yellow Jackets. I like what they're doing. Mason Happel, nice job recognizing that they ran out at him. Little pump head fake. It doesn't have to be much. Just get him off balance, take it to the basket, and then he dished off. And that made for a couple easy buckets for Detloff, but a nice three to get started. So, again, Thief River probably guarding against digging the deep hole right here, calling an early timeout when you're down 5.
Zutz will inbound. And Rosendahl will bring the ball up court. Rosendahl hands it off there for Peterson. Out comes near side, Zutz. Guarded closely by Swentek. Now comes back up top, to Peterson. Peterson now finds Wilcox on the right. Shot clock at 15. Wilcox is going to go to the hoop and draw the foul on the way up. And Wilcox will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Man, it's a nice move by Wilcox. He did two things at once. He kind of stuttered step and went behind his back, which left Happel off balance a little bit. And maybe until they start hitting some shots, maybe you don't want to guard quite so tight right away if you're the Yellow Jackets.
Free throw offline for Wilcox. 15:03 to go. Yellow Jackets by 5. Second is good for Wilcox. Rantanen and Caden Rose. That's Lucas Rantanen and Caden Rose in for the Prowlers. Rantanen, listening to the broadcast against Warroad, gave some nice minutes off the bench in that contest. Happel drives, pull-up jumper blocked away. Nice job. Rosendahl got his hands in there. Now coming back the other way to the hoop. But a foul on the drive attempt there by Wilcox on the floor. That's on Swentek. The Yellow Jackets quickly with 3 fouls here in the early going.
Again, and that's a credit to the Prowlers, Jason. They are attacking the basket, which is what we saw them do in the first game, similar to this, and they like the dribble drive.
Zutz pull-up jumper short. Swentek to board. Zutz close to picking up one, but did a nice job of just contacting the basketball, apparently. Now here's Happel to Detloff. The head fake now to Schmidt. Detloff works through the lane. Schmidt's going to drive, kick right side. A 3 on its way. It's nothing but nylon for Maddox Swentek. On a nice drive and dish by Blaine Schmidt. Yellow Jackets by 7 early. Now they go inside to the Prowlers. Jumper good. Caden Rose for 2. So he was left alone down low. Apple off the handoff. Kick right side. Onitson the quick fire for 3. It's good.
Interesting, after the timeout, they kind of quit running at, or maybe they're just choosing who they're running at, Jason. We'll have to keep an eye on that as again, Onitson got to plant his feet. Much better shooter.
Pull-up jumper, Wilcox, no. The Yellow Jackets battle for it. Schmidt says it's mine. He'll pass it up ahead to Onitson. Now Schmidt with it. In the lane, kick right side. Swentek steps back. He launches, and that's off the mark. But Detloff is there to fight for the offensive board, and the putback is good. And Detloff continues his nice night, and we have another timeout called by the Prowlers. as the Yellow Jackets lead 15-5. Detloff with 9.
Yeah, and it was interesting down there is his clear out, and I thought he did a nice job of keeping the ball under his chin, doing exactly what you're supposed to. And I think he contained that going, this is my space here. If he would have flung the elbows out a little bit further, it might have been an offensive foul, but great job there by Detloff, just under ultimate control. And again, I don't think the problem for the Prowlers, Jason, is at the offensive end. I think they're getting some shots, and they're getting it's at the defensive end right now that the Yellow Jackets kind of have them off kilter here a little bit. They're in a mix of running at some shooters, not at the others, and I see maybe a little confusion by the Prowlers. Maybe that's what they're shoring up at this time out.
You need to take a look around tonight. Some Yellow Jacket basketball alumni in attendance. Finn Diggins sitting here down below us, and on the far side is Chet Kovash with Soren Anderson in attendance, checking out tonight's game. As a few others, as we'll call him out if we see him up here, high above the perch at the Hive with 13-13 to go here in the first half. Yellow Jackets by 10.
We have BSU assistant offensive coordinator Jordan Hine in the house as well.
Zutz with it. Now Rosendahl. Pull-up jumper, no, he passes it up. Gives it to Zutz, who will drive. Through traffic, shot, no. Detloff steps out of bounds, though. Straight up defense, physical, but straight up.
Right, and I think that's a little bit of the size difference. I think Detloff's giving them a little bit of a matchup with his height right now. Just no one really to match up with him. A little bit, they have to do a little bit better job of boxing out. Maybe a few pump fakes head fakes underneath there. Get Detloff off his feet.
Rosendahl did a nice job to clear the defender. Just didn't get the drop on the pull-up jumper. And you know, sooner or later, those are going to start falling for him. Swentek now to Schmidt. Now cross court it goes to Swentek. Apple. They're closing on him. Screen comes. The roll there for Onitson. Now the help. Kick out there. Swentek far side. He will fire, and it's good. He's got 6, and the Yellow Jackets have already hit 4 3-pointers. So they lead 18-5 as we approach the 12-minute mark. Long 3 on its way off the iron. No, Schmidt for the board. A shot attempt there by Zutz. Might not be what head coach John Hams was looking for in that possession. Now Schmidt with it over to Swentek, swinging around Onitson. Zutz in a battle and a foul with Onitson, and it's going to be on Zutz. A little aggressive on defense.
Well, I think you just compounded things there. If you're Zutz, you take a 26-footer, miss it early, like you said, probably not in what they wanted, then come back and foul here, trying to be a little over-aggressive, getting the ball back. And that tends to happen in high school basketball. You try to make up for something you did on one end on the other, and most of the time it backfires.
Inbounds pass stolen away by Wilcox, and a quick foul. That's on Swentek. That's his second. And that will bring Cole Reuter off the bench with 11:45 to go.
Right, and that kind of stymies an early, really good run for Swentek. Other than one missed 3, he's been playing really well and kind of floating to those open spots and looking for his shot.
Rosendahl. Vince Sonenson has done a nice job so far. Now it's swung around. Into the lane, Wilcox. Pull-up jumper, too strong. Reuter for the rebound.
Man, this is similar to the first time these two teams played. Ball just won't go in on this side. And when they switched ends, it kind of reversed strategy, and the Prowlers got really hot in the second half.
Schmidt with it now. Right side, Apple. Apple drives. Now they swing it to Detloff. He's going to go in the lane. Float up a shot. High off the glass. And Detloff gets a kiss off the glass for 2. And it's now 20-5 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Now Peterson with it near side here. Rantanen inside it goes. Shot up and in. There for Chose. And it's now a 13-point game and a much-needed basket there for the Prowlers. Inside it goes Deloff. He's going to work inside, kick out near side. Onenson launches, then fires, doesn't fall, but Reuter with the offensive board. Reuter spins, right hand, no, but he's fouled. A nice nifty move there by Reuter to get to the hoop and get a chance for two at the line.
Just a little bit more aggressiveness by the Yellow Jackets right now, Jason. They're finding their way to the loose balls a little bit faster, and then they're attacking the hoop just with a little bit more. I don't want to say effort because both teams are playing, but just a little bit as Reuter hits the first one. They're just going at a pace trying to finish. They're trying to get to the rim, where I think Thief River's kind of settling a little bit for their jump shot or maybe even fading away.
Reuter hits them both. It's now 15 for the Yellow Jackets. Been their biggest lead of the night. They had one earlier at 20-5. Drive through the lane, layup up and in as it parted for Peterson.
Yeah, somebody's got to step in the lane there. It's like the seas parted, and that's not what we need when you got a nice lead. You want to extend that lead early.
And on the other side, Blaze Schmidt goes baseline and lays it in. Back to 15. Rosendahl, kick near side. A three forthcoming. Too strong. Schmidt the board on the missed attempts by Rantanen. Up ahead, Detloff. Detloff drives to the hoop strong. And another timeout called by Thief River Falls as the Yellow Jackets, now with their biggest lead at 26-9, are continuing to show a variety of ways of scoring tonight. They're getting to the hoop with ease as well, and now they lead by 17.
Yeah, and it's really tough to take your third timeout with 9:31 to go. I get what the Thief River coaching staff's trying to do here. They're trying to slow momentum. It really hasn't worked with the first two timeouts. In fact, I think the Yellow Jackets have scored in the next possession. Like, they're drawing up not just for defense, but to go back on the other end. Again, I think at some point here, Thief River's just going to have to play through it. But this is just reminiscent to that first game, Jason. And Yellow Jackets started off really hot, led by 15 going into the half. And then all of a sudden, here came the Prowlers. It's like they flipped the switch, and so you know they have that in them. If you're the Yellow Jackets, I don't think you dare take the foot off the pedal here. You got to take good shots when you get them. But again, you used it last night, and I think it was a really valuable term. Value each possession now. If you're the Yellow Jackets, make sure it's the shot you really want.
9.5 to go. Bringing the ball up court, Rosendahl hands it off there for Peterson. Now Wilcox, clear space, off balance on the shot. And the Yellow Jackets again keep the Prowlers one and done. Happel with it, near side to Onenson. Back to Schmidt. Schmidt near side again to Onenson around the perimeter. Now Reuter thought about it. He's going to go put the hoop to the ball to the lane. Now give it to Onenson. Shot clock at 10. Schmidt's just going to dive and kick and find the cutting Detloff, who finishes.
I'm not sure. I'm going to make this statement. How do you lose Detloff right now if you're the Prowlers? If there's one person you got to keep your eye on, it's him.
And Detloff there for the rebound. Another one and done for Thief River Falls. And right now they're looking like they might be one and done with the way this first half is going. Yellow Jackets lead 28-9, but there is a lot of basketball left. And now Detloff for three, too strong off the iron, but he gets the rebound. Now he's going to drive in the lane, kick it to Reuter, but an offensive foul.
Foul might be the only thing that stops Detloff right now. Only thing I worry a little bit with the Yellow Jackets, and it might be just me, Jason, is if you start watching when they're driving the lane, there's a lot of forearm involved in what they're doing. Again, you don't want to get caught with that, and all of a sudden these foul troubles mount and add up, and then that's what ends up changing the game.
I was wondering if you're noticing that as well. There was a couple times I thought the forearm was getting out there. A three-pointer on its way, that's off the mark. Rebound grab by Rosendahl, and now it's stolen back to the Yellow Jackets. Reuter the open look. And Deloff fights for the board. He goes through. That's his second foul. And now Brendan Sandberg quickly up off the bench.
And I got clarified on this, and it was probably you that told me, Jason, there's no more over the back. It's if you can contain your spot, you can go over the top. You just can't go through somebody. And again, I think that's where that physical little forearm caught the Yellow Jackets there, and unfortunately, too, for Detloff.
That shot no good inside by Peterson, and Schmidt with the rebound. And Lance, we're starting to hit that time. I think that's happened a few times for the Yellow Jackets where they go a little stagnant on offense. That ball is tapped out of bounds and have that unfortunate lull in offense. And here's an opportunity. Yellow Jackets need to find a way to work through it, but here's an opportunity for the Prowlers to try to get back into this. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It just seems like this is the point where we've seen it in the past.
Yep, and I think if you're Thief River, you take one shot at a time. Get a good look here. Probably get the ball to Rosendahl.
That's off the mark, but a big rebound inside, and the putback is good for Caden Rose.
So they didn't get the three from Rosendahl, but it ends up getting a three-point opportunity for them. And again, you want to score when the clock stops. There's a lot of time left in this game, and we've seen Thief River score in bunches. If you're the Yellow Jackets, you got to guard against that and stay on your offense right now.
Free throw from Rose on its way. That one's off the back iron. Sandberg gets the rebound. 7 minutes to go, first half. Yellow Jackets by 17. Now Schmidt with it. Inside Sandberg. Kick out. Pass tapped away. And stolen and grabbed by Ranton. And here come the Prowlers back.
Again, now Happel on Rosendahl. A little bit of height advantage here for Rosendahl. Let's see if they use that.
Rosendahl with it. Into the lane, gets to the hoop. Shot no good. Tried to spin it up as he was looking for contact. And the Yellow Jackets with the rebound. Onenson now. Happel inside, it goes to Schmidt, back out to Happel. He launches for three, that's off to the right, and the rebound is grabbed by Rose.
Again, the Yellow Jackets a little cold right now, but Thief River hasn't taken advantage yet. But you can't let this, so this might be the time you got to get the ball into the inside, try to get an easier look than a three-pointer if you're the Yellow Jackets.
Rosendahl at the free throw line, that one's good.
That guy is money from there, Jason, and I don't know why he goes away from that, because when he can elevate at the free throw line, it's almost 100% when he makes it.
Ruder gets it poked away and now picks up his dribble near half court, gets it to Onenson. Cross court goes Happel, now Onenson with it. Ruder in the lane, floater swatted away. And now back up ahead, Peterson with a nice feed and a finish there for Rosendahl, and a timeout called by the Yellow Jackets. It's now 28-15, and the Prowlers are running back.
I'm going to get your take on this because I just saw both Swintek and Detloff checking back into the game. 5 minutes to go in the second half. I know a lot of coaches, 2 fouls, you'd sit. What are your thoughts?
You got to play them. I'm not a big fan of the automatic sit with 2. You got to play through it because no matter what you got, especially today, it's the end of the season if you lose, and you really need your players to play through that. With that being said, you got to trust and know those players are going to be smart not to pick up that third.
Well, and you would think if you were an assistant coach from Thief River right now, you're going over to the head coach saying, Detloff's in the game, let's go at him, right? So, again, you're putting a lot of pressure on these guys not to pick up their third foul in the first half, because that's going to lead you to some time in the second half. Wow. But I think the little run there by Thief River pressured Coach Haberman to come back maybe a little earlier than he wanted to with both of those guys.
Sometimes you see some shooters go on fire, but yeah, they pick up their second foul, and they end up being cooled off because they sat on the bench for 6 minutes because the automatic sit down with 2, and you need their points no matter what.
Excellent.
If they have 2 or 3 in the first half.
Excellent idea, and it didn't stop Detloff. He was going right through to get that one.
And that's up and in on the other side for Peterson. And now the Prowlers are starting to run back. It's an 11-point game. The Yellowjackets at 1 point, led by 17.
Can feel old Mr. Momentum switching here a little bit. A lot more energy on defense for the Prowlers.
Schmidt drives, kicks. Swentek thought about it, passed it up. Now goes into Detloff. Detloff, the double comes, kick out. The extra pass, Happel drives, kicks. Schmidt. Johnson, the Yellowjackets working the clock with 10. Happel will fire and hits. The ball movement was outstanding for the Yellowjackets. They didn't settle, found the open look for Happel, and he hits.
Thief River was there. They just didn't close out, and I'm not sure they did. Here's Schmidt with another hustle play.
Trying to get it to Detloff as he was on the ground, and the little bump there. Prowlers begging for one there, and that would have been a big one because it would have been the third on Detloff. Wilcox knifes through the lane nicely and lays it up and in for 2. Nice finish there by Wilcox.
And again, if you're the Yellowjackets, take a deep breath. You're up by 12, 3.5 minutes to go till half. Do what you did to get you here. Forget some of this other stuff that's been happening. But, man, you can just see that the defensive intensity is picked up for the Prowlers.
Well, you knew a team like Thief River Falls was going to have a run in them. It was a matter of when. Now Happel, an offensive foul, and that's the third on Detloff. The 3 went down, but the foul was on Detloff, so that's his third on the moving screen, which defeats the whole point that I talked about, keeping your guy in the second and third foul.
It's a 50-50 roll of the dice there, and you hope that a moving screen, if you can't get the screen, don't get it. But again, this changes the game now into the second half, I believe.
Zutz fires his way through, unable to get it to go, but an offensive board for the Prowlers. Rosendahl to the lane, up and in for Rosendahl. And now it's 31-21. It's a 10-point game. And like you said, Lance, the intensity is picked up on our right side of the gym, and the Prowler fans starting to make a little bit more noise.
They've really changed their defense, and they're rotating so much better right now, Jason. They're not leaving any openings, and there's a bunch of steals and a leak out here.
And an easy bucket for Zutz.
Now we're going to have another timeout. Well, I thought we were going to have a timeout by Perham again, and I thought, well, we're going battle of timeouts in these runs, but again, probably a decent to let your kids play through.
And now a foul on the steal by the Yellowjackets. No. The foul is on Tucker Chose. That's an interesting one amongst that. It'll be Yellowjacket basketball, 2:13 to go.
Yeah, real interesting, and I didn't see a whole lot of contact. Obviously, the officials are right there, but what a big call because they were headed the other direction for another layup, which would have cut it to 6, and here we go anyway.
Peterson with the steal, the layup's good.
Boy, I almost think if you're the Yellowjackets, you got to almost take another timeout. I know you want to get to half, but you want to preserve this lead as much as you can.
Reuter with it. Now Schmidt. Hand it off to Reuter. Poked away. And now here's Wilcox. Knifes through. It goes for Bridger Wilcox. And a chance at a three-point play. And the Prowlers have stormed all the way back.
And I don't know, Jason, we're not keeping this stat, but that's got to be 7 steals in about the last 5-6 minutes, and they're just active hands, really active defense, and they're attacking the Yellowjackets when they turn their back. Yellowjackets have to square up to the basket, take care of the basketball first before you dribble. You're given too many opportunities here for the Prowlers to get back in this, and unfortunately, they're there.
Free throw is good for Wilcox. It's now a 31-28 lead. Alex Bloom into the game for the Yellow Jackets. Gets by his man, drives and kicks. Swintek, the shot, no, but the foul. And the foul is on Wilcox, his second.
And again, to me, Jason, I never want to second get that was after the shot. I think that's an out of bounds situation, but it probably threw the follow through.
And the thing I was going to say, you got to let the guy land, and that might have been what the call is there as Swintek gets that one.
Right, and I think you're probably right now that I look back on that. He didn't get a chance to land. I thought it was more after that shot, and that's huge, getting 3 free throws right here for the Yellow Jackets.
My question on it was Swintek's foot on the line when he went up, but he hits 2 so far, and now he's getting the 3rd, and Brecken Wilcox is in the game for the Yellow Jackets.
Right, and again, I think the Yellow Jackets have to find a combination here to handle the basketball because been very active defensively here for the Prowlers.
Rosendahl to bring it up court. Hands it off. Goes inside to the floor. Comes back out to Rosendahl. Dribbles through the lane, now kicks back out the extra pass. A 3 from Wilcox, misses everything, and Schmidt gets it. Schmidt to Happel. He's left open for 3. It's no good. Rebound out of bounds, though. Last touch by the Prowlers as Alex Bloom worked inside and battled and wreaked a little bit of havoc there with under a minute to go in our opening half here from the Hive.
And I think Thief River coaches are asking, didn't he go through the man to make the ball go the other way? And I would tend to agree from my angle, but again, great job by the Yellow Jackets getting themselves another possession here.
Bloom to the hoop, too strong. Good move, just couldn't finish. Another Prowlers with 10-second differential on the shot clock. We'll go to work as working to the hoop is Rosendahl.
Oh my, there was about 4 different moves in one right there, and you just get that sense if this is close, Jason, he's taking over the game.
Yellow Jackets are going to attack with 20. Wilcash for 3. Wilcash no good. Rosendahl the rebound, and now the Prowlers a big opportunity to close to within 1 or 2 with the final shot of our first half.
I think if you would have told me they were going to be within 1 or 2 or even 4 in the first half, I'd have said you were crazy.
Does it beat the buzzer? Well, it doesn't matter. At the half, the Yellow Jackets lead 34-30, but the Prowlers have stormed all the way back and have taken some momentum from the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, are you to the point that you have to start running a second person towards Rosendahl? The danger with that is you're going to end up leaving somebody else open throughout this thing, but man, what a half. And again, it's very similar to our second half of the first time these two teams played. Now you're really within striking distance as you're coming out of the locker room only down by 4. And again, you start to leave a little doubt in the other team. So Yellow Jackets just have to come back out, figure out the things that they did really well in the first half. Unfortunately, it was a lot of Detloff, which we're going to hear. Not unfortunate for Perham, but unfortunate because he has 3 fouls. And I wonder if he starts the second half even now with that 3rd foul. I think he will, but if you pick up that 4th one right away, you're sitting probably till the 5 or 6 minute mark unless things get really out of hand. So lots of question marks at halftime, and if you're Thief River, you got to be just ecstatic how you came back again, and that probably stemmed from the first time they played, knowing, hey, we can do this, and we can play with the best of them. So what a half, Jason, and I'm intrigued to hear the stats because I know Detloff started out so good, but Rosendahl was just so steady throughout the whole half.
Leading the way for the Yellow Jackets in that first half, Ashton Detloff, again, as you said, 15 points, but those 3 critical fouls, Maddox Swintek with 9, 3 each for Mason Happel and Gage Jonathan, Cole Reuter with 2, Blake Schmidt with 2, the Yellow Jackets 5 of 5 from the line. For Thief River Falls, Rosendahl has 10. Bridger Wilcox and Max Peterson with 6 each. 4 on the board for Caden Rose, 2 for Tucker Chose, and 2 for Gannon Zutz. They got a pair of players with 2 fouls in Wilcox and Zutz. And that's your score at the half. The Yellowjackets lead 34-30. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, talk a little bit about tomorrow's Section 8-2A Girls Basketball Championship and get you set up for the second half here on the Yellowjacket Activities YouTube page. We thank you for tuning in. Well, welcome back into the Hive. We thank you for tuning in here tonight. Jason Groth with Lance Rock. We're hoping you're enjoying tonight's broadcast, and we're excited to announce and let you know tomorrow night the Yellowjackets will be taking on Pelican Rapids in the Section 8-2A championship game, and that's one we're looking forward to, and we're honored and happy to be able to bring that to you guys tomorrow night from Concordia.
Yeah, if you can't be there, join us because we have a great vantage point at Concordia. We can, it's just like we can see everything happening from where we're at, and we can bring you a really good video of what's going to happen. But that could be a dandy game. I know both times these ladies played, it's been within 5 points. You can go one or two ways, and I think in amongst of our brain trust, and we won't name everybody that we talk about this with, but a couple of us feel that maybe a little bit of a team of destiny. If you start to go overtime for Pelican, you start to believe that no matter what happens, we're going to win. And others think maybe not playing up to what they had been earlier on in the season. Now, if you're the Yellow Jackets, you can't worry about anything like that. You've got to come out and just impose your will. And I think one of the things that the Yellow Jackets are going to have to do is match energy tomorrow night.
Well, that's definitely going to be the case. The Yellow Jackets come in as the heavy favorite, as the section defending champs, and have had the target on their back all year long. 2 5-point victories over Pelican Rapids. The last one, Kaya Anderson hit that big three-pointer that helped the Yellow Jackets take the lead, and then they added a pair of free throws late to seal that one against Pelican Rapids. And that was a huge shot for Kaya Anderson there in Pelican. And the Yellow Jackets, you mentioned the team of destiny. Some might say that the Yellow Jackets could be that too as well, after last year's great run and how they were so dominant through the section. And now this year they get to face the number 2 seed, a team that didn't make that run last year that a lot of people thought Pelican Rapids was going to make a deep run in the playoffs. They were upended. But when you look at Pelican Rapids, you know, you got Morgan Korf, you have Ellie Welch. There's others that are outstanding as well. And the thing that stands out to me for Pelican is last night they were down 20, never wavered in the second half, battled back, got it to overtime, and took care of business.
Yeah, and that was a really, really impressive win for them, coming back against a well-coached Holly team. But then you can also look at the Yellow Jackets, Jason, and go, boy, they made amends last night. Lost twice in the regular season to the Barnesville Trojans, came back and really kind of looked dominant last night in what they were doing and what they were trying to do. So again, it's one of those, tune in. Whether you're driving there, whether you're listening, whether you're going to join us, it's going to be worth your time to watch these ladies play basketball, because I think it could be one of those matchups that we've been waiting to see in a section final game, that there's just so much intrigue with it. And it's because the two players are so opposite that kind of dominate the scoring and the stats and those things, in Willow Thiel being a definite true post and Morgan Korf being the point guard. They just have two opposite ends to this thing, so it just adds to that drama. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we've got a heck of a half of basketball coming up here, and it's just about to get started.
We have 18 minutes and potentially more here tonight from the Hive to decide this one for the right to take on Pelican Rapids and to move on into the Section 8 2A tournament to get to the quarterfinals on quarterfinals Saturday, which will be at home sites of the high seed, which is a move I love, as you earn that right to host a playoff game, and I think that's what makes the regular season even more important.
And as we're getting ready to start this second half, I try to talk smart on here. I wish I could tell you what flips the switch for the Prowlers. It was like two totally different teams of the first 9 minutes to the last 9 minutes of the first half. Let's see who comes out in this half. And the Yellow Jackets, you know, a phrase that maybe we use too often, or they got to get back to their business end of the bargain here and take care of the basketball and get some good shots.
Prowlers opening possession to start the second half. Drive in the hoop. Wilcox puts it in.
Boy, they've really found something on spreading that floor and kind of going to the weak side of the floor and then attacking and catching the Yellow Jackets coming over a little bit too late.
Pass thrown near side, turned over.
Now I wonder, though, Jason, you start to think about all of the things, all the timeouts used by the Prowlers. As you climb in and this game stays close here in the second half, do they wish they would have one more or two more of those back?
Onson drives, draws a foul, and will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Nice job by Onson, just kind of taking it into his own hands there and driving in and just willing himself to the free throw line.
Onson hit that early three-pointer that really got the Yellow Jackets off and running as they built up. At that point, it was a 28-9 lead. Free throw no good off the back iron. Since then, though, the Prowlers have surged back and have cut it to 2 here to start this second half. Nervous moments starting to come for both teams as Onson hits the second one amongst the box out announcement from fans as we get ready to go for this next possession. Here's Rosendahl. They trap on him, but he gets it near side for Peterson. Now Rosendahl in the lane, gets around the defender. Shot no good, though. The Yellow Jackets fight for the board amongst themselves. Now it's going to be held ball. goes to the Yellow Jackets. It's one of those communicate and you keep the ball. With 17:08 to go. Anyways, you still keep the ball in the alternating possession, though. But that arrow may play a big role as this game rolls on.
I was more curious watching the young fan run across the floor.
Teloff inside, kick out. Onitson for three. Off the side of the iron, but a foul.
Woo, deep breath there by the Yellow Jackets is on the backside of that. There's going to be a foul on the Prowlers. Detloff was the only person on the backside for the Yellow Jackets. Kind of a sigh of relief even for him.
Onitson now to Swentek over the right side. Schmidt looking inside, not there. Now we're going to drive. It's poked away.
Since I blew that call for you, Jason, Max Peterson is the one who actually picked up the foul as I kind of overspoke my turn there. But again, Yellow Jackets have to D up here.
Reverse layup attempt, no good. Ball off a couple of legs, out of bounds. They'll go to the Yellow Jackets. Rantanen back in. Onsen with the screen from Detloff. Now goes to the right for Happel. Schmidt with it. Back to Happel. Yellow Jackets working with 20 on the shot clock. Onenson. Happel. Too strong. Rebound grab. Rosendahl. He's looking to run, of course. Now slows it down for a moment. Kicks it out of three. Ooh. But sometimes on those errant threes, they're tougher to rebound than the one that actually hits something and it's tapped out of bounds and will go to the Prowlers.
And really interesting part, it happened right in front of our camera, so I don't know if you caught it or not. Again, a little forearm shove by the Yellow Jacket. Rosendahl called him out on that, looked at the official, so let's see if that sometimes buys a foul or two just by making that gesture.
Rosendahl drives through, shot no good, now it's tied up. Here's Onenson with it. Swentek. Back to Schmidt. Now to Detloff. He will fire the corner three. It's good for Ashton Detloff. He's got 18. And a much needed basket for the Yellow Jackets there.
I think Detloff could be standing outside the gym. I certainly wouldn't want to play him in horse tonight because as soon as he touches, he's letting it go and it looks good.
Working in the lane is Chose. Too strong off the glass. Rebound grab by the Yellow Jackets. Apple with it. Now goes to Schmidt. Schmidt drives in the lane, kicks out, but it's tapped out of bounds by Wilcox.
Really tough to leave your feet there when you're underneath the basket or behind that basket and it's set up so you can go behind it now and then leave your feet and try to find somebody who's open. Maybe he got bailed out just a little bit there as a tip pass by the Prowlers.
Dangerously close over and back is what we'll say on that one as Onitson drives and lays it up and in.
And again, those are big calls or no calls as that could be a 4-point swing in a really tight game.
The judgment on that is where did Onitson touch it before he went into the back court.
Exactly.
Wilcox, kick out. Peterson hands it off. Rosendahl trying to get his shots, and now three in the lane is going to be called on Rose.
Sorry, I catch myself watching Rosendahl. He's just such a good start-stop with the basketball. It's just crazy to watch him. You think that he's going to be dribbling backwards, and all of a sudden he's stopped and going back to the basket again.
Swentek, the three from the corner. It's good. Swentek with 12, and the Yellow Jackets back up 11. And a timeout called by Thief River Falls. They now have one remaining with 13:57 to go.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a crazy game here, Jason. It's been a couple calls go one way or another, and it's really made about a 6 to 8 point swing here. And that's really the difference in what it was from the first half to the second half. Yellow Jackets moving the ball, again, a little bit better than they were. When they get a little bit stagnant or one side, they play like half the floor. They're not quite as good. And again, the Prowlers went away from attacking like they did in that first half. And again, I wonder if they run spurts with the energy that they're trying to give out to get back into this game. But again, a lot of time left, 13 minutes and 50 seconds. And they've shown that they can climb this mountain. Just how many times can you do it?
Rosendahl. Hands it off to Peterson. He works through the lane, left hand good. Sometimes you might see them in a way when they pull Rosendahl over to the near side, might use him as a decoy, and that opens up things for guys like Peterson and Zutz.
Yeah, it was a really nice set there by the Prowlers coming out of a timeout. Just what you want to have happen.
Detloff to the hoop, good for 2. And Detloff now has 20, and the Yellow Jackets lead by 11 again. Now the Prowlers using the weave. Inside they go, and it's tied up, and a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Swentek. And now you can just see the tensions are starting to mount a little bit, and the tempers are cooling off, but they're heating up.
Well, both teams fighting for to play the next day. And again, you're going to see a little bit more emotion than you would if this was a regular season game. And you got to like that little bit of fight in both teams right now.
Rosendahl. Smooth. As silk. He's got 12.
Yeah, and he hasn't really forced anything either, Jason. So, again, that 12 could have probably been more.
Inside Detloff. He will drive, works his way into the lane. Now finds Happel in the far corner. Swentek with the head fake, pull-up jumper from the free throw line extended. It's no good. And a foul on the Yellow Jackets. That's going to be on Detloff. That's his 4th.
And again, you love the battle out of Detloff. You got to start to think, though, man, if I can't get to that, let it go. And this is really kind of where Thief River made their hay last time Detloff went to the bench.
Brandon Sandberg into the game for the Yellow Jackets. With 12:30, Detloff with 20 points picks up his 4th and exits as the Prowlers give the Yellow Jackets a gift there with a turnover. And Von Bruin quick on his feet to recover the loose ball.
It's kind of everywhere, isn't he, that Von Bruin?
Quick on his feet over there. Blake Schmidt now. Jonathan looks inside Sandberg. Sandberg works in the lane and puts it up and in for 2 as Brandon Sandberg creates space, gets his first 2 points, and the Jackets lead by 11. Now with it, Wilcox knifes through, shot blocked by Sandberg and out of bounds, and Wilcox kind of trying to explain to the official there's a reason why I'm on the ground like I am.
Yeah, definitely looking for the body foul on that. Block was clean. Definitely could have been a little body foul there. And here we go back to the drive.
And an offensive foul is called on Rosendahl. That's his first.
Yellow Jackets back on the attack now.
Onitson, kick out to Happel. He will drive to the hoop. Rebound tapped around, grabbed by the Prowlers. Looking to drive. There was Peterson, a 3 on its way. Rosendahl doesn't get it to fall. Yellow Jackets, it's tied up, held ball.
Again, coming home, driving back from Concordia with you last night, Jason. We listened to another game, and you said get it to 8 within 8. And I think that's maybe where the Prowlers are at now. If you can stay within 8, with 8 minutes to go, you really feel like you got a shot in this game, and they're not too far being down by 11 from doing just that.
Wilcox, kick out with a feed to Zutz. Zutz, the crossover now gives it to Rosendahl. Gets off his feet, but finds Wilcox for 3, and it falls. And just like that, Lancer with an 8.
Again, weather this storm if you're the Yellow Jackets. It seems like it's 1 or 2 shots that get the Prowlers going. Run your stuff on this side of the court here. Be patient. Find your open look.
Happel, nothing but nylon with the 3, and a timeout called by the Yellow Jackets. Happel with 6. Jackets back by 11 with 10:45 to go here in the second half. Yellow Jackets looking to, like you say, weather that attack from the Prowlers. They hit a big 3 from Mason Happel, but the Prowlers, for the most part, have done a great job on tonight, as Happel's only got 6.
Yeah, and they've kind of ran at him, and Coach Haberman talked about that in your pregame show, Jason, and I think that's really an interesting thing that he kind of was ready for this. Like maybe they were going to run at Happel. Happel's been doing some more driving and dishing and kicking. Again, I think one of the things you got to look at is, can the Yellow Jackets weather the storm? Detloff's really played just outstanding tonight. Can they weather the storm till you feel comfortable bringing him back in the game with 4? My guess is you'll buy as much time as you can, but if you see it climb within 6 again, he's going to have to come off the bench, because you don't want this to go too far too fast, because this Prowler group has shown they can score in bunches.
The Yellow Jackets head coach Kyle Haberman using the majority of this timeout, as the Prowlers will inbound, trailing by 11. Wilcox hands it off there for Peterson. Now on the weave again. Now finding a drive to the hoop. Wilcox, no. Rebound, Swentek. Like that weave offense up top.
Nice job by Swentek there, also rebounding that basketball.
Sandberg, kick out. Driving Schmidt. Tough pass. Swentek leaps and gets it though. Happel drives, kicks. Onenson, the 3. It's good.
Big 3 by Onenson right there.
And Gage Onenson extends the lead. Now looking to drive Peterson to the floor. Tied up and a foul. Foul's going to be on Happel. That's his second. Team's third. Zutz will inbound on the baseline with 9:51 to go. Prowlers trying to crawl back into this one. Got it down to 8, but the Yellow Jackets answered right back inside. Jumper short on the shot by Chose. Happel. Onenson drives, hands it off Sandberg. Sandberg to the hoop strong. That's good.
Nice play by the Yellow Jackets. Really good cut by Sandberg there.
Inside. Tied up. Wide open, the 3. Good. The ball found Zutz in the right spot, and Zutz nailed it. And a big 3-pointer for the Prowlers to stem the tide for the moment. Happel off the screens, going to drive, dishes down low. Sandberg, the short jumper is no good, and the rebound is grabbed by Coach Chose. Hand off to Rosendahl now. He's going to drive. Rosendahl, the fadeaway short. Rebound by Swentek up to Schmidt. Schmidt in a battle and a foul. Rosendahl, you may have heard the slap up here.
And a good job by Schmidt, knowing that Rosendahl was kind of off balance there. Just attacked the basket really nicely. And just good job by him making the contact and kind of creating that contact, now getting to the free throw line.
That foul is Rosendal's second as Schmidt hits the free throw. Rose back in for the Prowlers. The Yellow Jackets lead 56-42. Second free throw by Schmidt, good. Got 4. Winner of this will take on Pelican Rapids Saturday night. The newly named Rex Haugen Courts, as they had a nice dedication ceremony in Pelican Rapids just last weekend. The three-pointer from Rosendahl offline. That goes off the leg of Rose, and it'll be Yellow Jacket basketball. 8:13 to go. It's a 15-point Yellow Jacket lead. Onson drives, kicks, Swentek on the catch. Cross court it goes, Happel with the head fake, gets a defender by. Now the extra pass here to the near side, a 3 from Onson. In and out, just doesn't go. Zutz on the rebound, nice extra pass and an open look. Wilcox behind the back, they go on the pass and a travel. Peterson with a nice behind the back pass, but Zutz traveled on the drive.
Might have caught him off guard just a little bit, and he tried to take that first step and just couldn't quite secure the ball.
Now, if you're the Yellow Jackets, you want to stay in what you're doing, but you also have the opportunity to extend some possessions here with this lead.
And that's where I think you said value each possession.
And Swentek nails the 3. And that will be the final timeout of the night for Thief River Falls, as Swentek now has 15 with the 3.
We kind of talked about him early. He's kind of been a little bit of a spark plug, giving that extra outside shooter for the Yellow Jackets. I like the way he plays. He moves without the basketball. He finds the open spot. He makes kind of a nice combination with when you got Detloff shooting well and Happel shooting well. Gives you that third person to really kind of to spread this floor and make it really hard to defend.
Hawley, a big winner tonight over Roseau. They win that one 92-75. So if you have Hawley moving on, you could circle that one. Barnesville leads Monaga 67-32. And DGF thumps War Road 62-39. So you can move DGF into Wadena on Saturday. And I know the Tourism District in Wadena will be excited about that one.
Yeah, some interesting matchups coming in. DGF, I think, was a really good game with Wadena that kind of flip-flopped maybe their seeds at the end. And it was a kind of an interesting, I think, like a 4 o'clock game or something like that. Wadena went to DGF and knocked off the Rebels. So, again, one of those matchups I think could be a really good one.
Last about a 5-second bucket to go by the Wolverines. I don't think there'll be any glare issues for the evening start at 7 o'clock in that one. And an offensive foul might have been sold very nicely by the Yellow Jackets as the foul is on Zutz. The Yellow Jackets by 18 with 7, approaching 7. Apple. It's going to drive baseline, hands off Sandberg. Short on the shots, and a foul. Foul on Apple. Foul's on Sandberg. Team's fifth, his second. Jumper, no. Rebound, put back, no. Rebound again, tied up. Something's got to be called sooner or later. And held ball.
And this possession's going to go to the Yellowjackets. Again, things just not falling for Thief River Falls right now. A couple of point-blank shots there. Just hit the front of the rim and rolled off. Off the Yellowjackets, it's going to go back to the Prowlers, and sometimes this is what you need, is to get an inbounds play under your own basket, and hopefully good things happen. They got to cut into this lead just a little bit at a time here.
Rosendahl spins, knifes through, layup short. Sandberg there for the rebound. Outlets it up to Onenson. Onenson there for Happel. Happel near side, Swintek fires for three off the iron. And Onenson there for the rebound. Quickly with the shot, no. But the Yellowjackets get it back and now bring it back out. Detloff drives, left hand good.
Nice job by Detloff there.
Three-pointer and answer, good. Bridger Wilcox. I think you've heard a couple of times on those rebounds that head coach Kyle Haberman wants that ball back out to extend the possession as much as possible on those offensive boards. Yellowjackets lead by 17, approaching 5, poked out of bounds. We'll stay with them.
Yeah, nice job here by the Yellowjackets. Again, value each possession. Now you've got a nice, no lead's comfortable in the playoffs, but you got a comfortable lead here, and hopefully you can just keep building this lead and go back to the things that you're doing really well.
Detloff to Happel. Inside, Sandberg loses control of it. Here's Wilcox. Drives in the lane. Sandberg stands him up. Does a nice job there. Now it's off the foot. And Rosendahl with it. Rosendahl and a foul. Blake Schmitz. Cole Reuter in for the Yellowjackets. Swintek and Sandberg. Get a breather. Inbounds pass, Detloff bats it away and it ends into the hands of Blake Schmidt. Happel with it. Happel. We talked a little bit last night. I thought you touched on it well when we were discussing that value in the possession and not trying to pull the reins back. You can tell this Yellowjacket boys squad loves to shoot and drive, and there's a nice finish there by Mason Happel.
I think it's picking the right times, like Happel did right there. He saw the lane, he attacked it. It's a good shot. Right now you don't have to force any shots. 35-second clock, still a lot of time to run your offense. So continue in your offense till you get a really, really good shot. And that case in point, that was beautiful by the Yellowjackets on that last possession.
Alex Bloom into the game. Yellowjackets with 4 minutes to go, lead by 19. Looking to square off with HOL rival Pelican Rapids. Still have under 4 to go as Bloom with it. Bloom. Kick out to Happel for 3. Good look, just off the side iron. And that again, that shot came with 12 on the shot clock, so the Yellowjackets working it down and getting a good look in that possession. Rosendahl, tough shot off the back iron, rebound grab by the Yellowjackets.
And again, when the lead stretches, you force things a little bit more maybe than you would in a normal situation, and it feels like that's happening for the Prowlers right now.
Bloom works through Schmidt for the putback. Wilcox, tough shot, gets it to roll. Well, part of it is too with the Prowlers. The Yellow Jackets go on that early run to start each half, and the Prowlers have to exert themselves even more just to try to cut into that lead. You can tell they might be just a little bit gassed.
Right, exactly. And again, it's like the first one where they just had to expend so much energy.
Shot no by Bloom. Detloff's put back no. Wilcox back the other way. Finds the cutting, a left hand or a layup there for Tucker Chose.
They keep fighting though. Again, it might be one of those where it gets to be a little too late, especially, if the Yellow Jackets consume some time here, make them expend even more energy on the defensive end.
And Ruder works inside and uses the glass for two. Wilcox spins. Tough shot, fouled. Wilcox goes to the line with 2:03 to go.
Yeah, and you kind of get the feeling even from the crowd, kind of the energy has come out of the Hive just a little bit here. Not that they're not cheering on their teams, just kind of that excitement of not knowing the outcome. You just start to feel like you're getting a better sense here that the Yellow Jackets value that basketball, take care of every possession as that first free throw goes in, and things are going to be okay for you.
Free throw no good. Happel the rebound. Slows it down across half court. The screen now to Ruder. And now the Yellow Jackets a big board to get a new shot clock. Ruder with it. Wilcox to Ruder. Happel with it. Drives, hands it off. Ruder to the hoop. And Ruder with a nice finish.
Nice job set up by Happel there. Again, that's the way Happel started the game, was kind of that dribble drive dish, and he's ending it the same way.
Three from the corner, too strong. Happel will fight for the board. Now Wilcox with it back to Happel. Onenson with it. Ruder with it now as we approach the final minute from the Hive. For the Section 8 portion of the season. 2 games here on Saturday will be Section 6A, but the Yellow Jackets moving on. They're going to take a timeout with 54 seconds to go. The Yellow Jackets ready to take on Pelican Rapids.
Yeah, and those have been a couple interesting games as well, as it's gone right down to the wire, and the Yellow Jackets kind of given the Vikings everything that they could ask for. So again, it's going to be a great weekend of March Madness for Yellow Jacket fans. Tomorrow night, the girls, Saturday night, the boys. And there's games going on at the Hive during the day. So if you don't get your fill of basketball, you're not looking hard enough, I don't think, because it's everywhere around you.
On a big one Saturday afternoon, Kansas taking on Houston. I know there's a lot of people besides.
Wow. I'll just leave that one alone. But
Onenson in the backcourt to Happel. Yeah, I waited all season. As Sandberg gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah.
Yellow Jacket fans are on their feet. A round of applause for the effort tonight for the Yellow Jackets. And the applause might get a little bit bigger here on the next whistle. 3-pointer by Rosendahl out the front iron. Sandberg the rebound. We'll see when they cross half court. And there it is, timeout for substitutions. And the Yellow Jackets will get a round of applause for their effort tonight, leading 68-50 with 31.2 seconds to go. And Ashton Detloff, an outstanding night tonight, led the way with 22 for the Yellow Jackets and navigated foul trouble throughout.
Yeah, just a great night by him. And kind of a complete game by the Yellowjackets. And again, Thief River matches. They bring some subs into the game, and it's one of those hard times as somebody's season is over. But nice job by the Yellowjackets, kind of from start to finish. A couple little lulls, but they never let it get in their way.
Near side it goes. Here's Muhleisen. Now to Rustad. To Rooney. Rustad swings over to Zacharias. He'll drive. Go to the hoop strong. And Thief River Falls will just let it run out. Bridger Wilcox dribbles it up court, and the Yellowjackets are moving on with a 68-50 victory tonight over Thief River Falls.
Yeah, nice complete game victory by the Yellowjackets. I think both defensively, offensively. Again, really paced by Detloff tonight as he just was on fire in the first half, and again, was just a little bit too much, I think, for Thief. They made a couple runs, but I think they had to expend so much energy, and not with a lot of depth on the bench. I just really believe that it probably wore them down a little bit, and it was too much to overcome in the end. So great execution by the Yellowjackets. Coach Haberman, they did a lot of things that you talked to him about in the pregame show, and ultimately they're moving on to play Saturday night, and it's March Madness, and anything can happen. It'll be the number 1 seed Pelican Rapids Vikings and the 8th seed the Perham Yellowjackets squaring off again for time number 3, and both games here at the Hive and in Pelican Rapids, both excellent games, and the Yellowjackets were in it from the start to the end, so I don't expect anything to be different on Saturday night. So again, Yellowjackets, great job tonight. They did what they needed to do, and sometimes you got to have a workmanlike win, and I would say it was even better than workmanlike. I think they really improved in some areas, Jason, and one of them was their inside-out play, and I think that's about the most I've seen the Yellowjackets attack the inside tonight.
Indeed, Lance, they really did go inside and did a nice job there, which I thought also, as we've said in a lot of broadcasts throughout the last 4+ years, that opens things up on the outside, and the Yellowjackets were able to take advantage. Leading the way for the Yellowjackets tonight, Ashton Detloff with 22. Maddox Swentak adds 15. Mason Happel with 8. Gage Onenson with 9. 4 each for Blaze Schmidt and Brandon Sandberg. And Cole Reuter finishes the night with 6 points for the Yellowjackets. And you look at the side, one thing that really stands out to me tonight, Mason Happel didn't get a lot of looks at the hoop, but he did a lot of the little things well that the Yellowjackets needed from the senior tonight. Yeah,
I think he started off with that dribble drive, Jason. It was really, really nice, and it gave some open looks, and I think it started the inside play a little bit more as he got into the paint and then would kick one way or the other and would catch a slashing guy or Detloff in the corner coming in, and gave Detloff some easy shots right at the get-go, and then he just didn't miss. And it was a fun night for the Yellowjackets for sure. And now, like Coach Haberman said, you don't have much time. You have tomorrow, and then you get ready to play. You probably walk through on Saturday, and again, you go again Saturday night against a really good Pelican Rapids team. One of the things that's nice about this, and kind of be one of my final points probably, is you're going to face a similar type guard as Rosendahl and Timmy Guler. And it's kind of nice to have this as now that you're done and you can say, yeah, this was a good practice to go up against the likes of Timmy Guler. Different style kind of players, but very similar. They like to get to the basket. They're good at that mid-range jump shot, and they handle the ball really well. So, again, a lot of things going right for the Yellowjackets right now.
Saturday's game will be on Pelican Rapids YouTube, so we'll have the link for that posted on our school websites. Again, perhamschools.org, and click on activity stream for that one.
Yeah, and again, we're going to be busy as busy can be. Jason and I were in Concordia last night. This game tonight, we're going to be back in Concordia tomorrow. Cannot wait for section finals. Section finals, are unbelievable, and we're going to try to bring that excitement to you on our stream here if you're not able to make it there. And again, I look for a great matchup, and man, we've got Perham Pelican Rapids Friday night, Perham Pelican Rapids Saturday night, for two teams that are really close together in miles. This is going to be a fun rivalry, and the rivalry just amps up another level when you hit tournament time.
Yeah, and we would definitely like to thank our partnerships with Kale and Friendly Brands United Community Bank for making the broadcast possible tomorrow as the Yellowjackets take on Pelican Rapids. You can find that link, Perham Yellowjacket Activities YouTube page, how you found this one, or also you can go to perhamschools.org, click on that activity stream. The link is there tomorrow for the game between the Yellowjackets and the Vikings. So make sure to check that out for tomorrow night. Yellowjackets tonight, though, Lance, it was the performance that they've really been, I think, looking for against a Thief River Falls team that we knew had the potential that could come in here and pose an upset. But it was the Yellowjackets stem that tide of about that 5-minute run that Thief River Falls had. But in the second half, they were able to impose their will and take the game over and do something that we really haven't seen. We've seen it in times for the Yellowjackets put a team away when they needed to.
Yeah, and they weathered the storm, and they weathered it nicely. And I think they just, again, learn from that. That's why regular season, when you talk about it, they're so important, the regular season games. The Yellowjackets had to do that the first time around, and you could tell they were much more comfortable, like, okay, we know they're making a run, take a deep breath, let's do what we do well, let's go back to something that works for us. And they did just that, and they weathered the storm fairly nicely, even though we were probably more nervous than they were up here. And in the end, that's what went to pay. And I think, again, not to take anything away from the Yellowjackets, I think Thief River just had to fight so hard, Jason, and they kind of hit that same patch as they did last game, and it looks like the legs just gave out. Their shots started to be a little bit shorter. They were front rimming some things that they made. They were getting to the basket but not finishing. So, again, hats off to the Thief River Falls Prowlers. They came in and battled. They had to make the long trip, and they've got a nice group of seniors that have done them really, really well last year and now into this year. And we just need to thank them for all that they've done as well, and appreciate them coming to battle tonight. But tonight, too much Yellowjackets.
Those seniors for Thief River Falls, Caleb Rosendahl, Max Peterson, and Tucker Chose, they have their careers come to an end, and great careers it was for the Prowlers. The Yellowjackets, with the victory, improved to 10-16. Thief River has their season come to an end with a record of 10-17. We thank you for tuning in. For Lance Rock, I'm Jason Grollo. Thank you and have a good night.